is. Oh, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Oh, yeah. It's me. It's your boy, the Louisiana Country Boy, coming at you live once more again with another special episode of My Worthless 2 cents Table Talk. Well, your approval is not needed. Not tonight. Not tonight. It ain't going to happen. Look here. Oh boy, I've been telling you, I said, boy, y'all need to get ready, y'all need to get ready, y'all need to sit back, y'all need to be prepared, because I got some chefs coming to the show. I done told you, y'all thought this boy crazy. He ain't got no chefs. Y'all ate last night, you finna eat again tonight. Yeah, you is. Yeah, you is. So, as I always say, I got somebody that gonna put something in your ear. So, all you gotta do is sit back, relax, put on your headgear. Oh, I got a special old golf coach. He got. I might have did that wrong.
Yes.
I know it's something like this.
Close.
I got a special golf coach, a legendary, a winning golf coach. Boy, he got trophies, he got plaques, he got them ring things, he got all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about a little bit of golf. He's going to educate those country boys on how to swing the club. Now, I'm going to be a putt champion when I finish with him. He's going to boom, boom, I'm going to tear the putt coat up. I'm going to tear it up. But look, we're going to have some fun. So what I want y'all to do, I'm going to let him introduce himself. Because old country boy can't do no introductions. I done said he's a golf coach. I done said he's legendary. He's famous and everything. But I'm going to let him tell you who he is, where he's from, where he be coaching at. He be coaching like for real, for real. So look here. Do your thing, my friend. Do your thing.
All right. I appreciate you. My name is Coach Sean Ewing. I'm at Seven Lakes High School out here in Katy ISD. I have been coaching since 1996. That puts me about 26 years doing this business. I've been the head golf coach at Seven Lakes High School since 2005 when we opened. We've been very blessed since we've been there with some great talent. I've sent kids to Ohio State, Texas A&M, Sam Houston State, to name a few, to play collegiate golf. Some of them now are still trying to get their tour cards. Some of them are head pros at some pretty prestigious type courses here in the state. So it's been fun. I'm also the vice president of the Texas Association of Golf Coaches. I own my own junior golf tour with a bunch of buddies. It's called the Beltway Junior Golf Tour, where we run about 100 to 150 tournaments a year for juniors. And then I also work for the Texas Junior Golf Tour, which is a sponsor for us there in the Beltway, just kind of the step up, And, man, it's good to be here to talk about some things. Being in education this long, things have changed a lot. And, man, it's crazy how, I just even say back when I first met the Louisiana Country Boy back in 1990, 1989, something like that. It's been a long time. And we were in that area of Gessner, Hammerley area, kind of doing our thing over there. And now looking at it, just the difference of it and how things have changed. It's crazy. And I also think back to when we were kids and we were in school and how things were it's totally different. It's not the same. And for good, for good or bad, whatever it is, we have to adapt to it and roll with it. I think we're making the kids softer, but I don't get to make those decisions when it comes down to it. But it's still a good place to be, and I love it. I say I love it. I got 2 more years, and I'm calling it quits. 28 years will be enough. So it's been great. I also get to teach a business class, so I teach marketing and entrepreneurship. So I teach something that kids have to use when they leave high school. I give them some basis of knowledge of how to do some things, and to kind of get them their feet wet on some of that stuff, just so they can have a knowledge when they get to college to figure out if that's what they want to do. And so it's been fun. It's been good all the way around. So I love it.
And that's putting in a lot of years, and I was gonna ask you about that. Old country boy don't ask a lot of questions, but every once in a while something pop up in the old brain up here. Man, all the years you put in, can you and I know you've seen some changes and you've seen some things that have just from when you started to where we at now. Man, how you weigh that? I mean, and I know you gotta love it. I know because nobody puts in that much time if you ain't got no love in it. But
Right.
but how's it been for you? Like you as a coach and an educator, how's it been for you?
It gets harder and harder every year, mainly just because the kids are different. You can't there's certain things you can't say anymore because you don't want to hurt their feelings, or you don't want mom and dad to get mad at you. There's parents aren't as free to let the teachers do the discipline as they used to be. They don't want that harshness for their little baby. And so sometimes I gotta bite my tongue because I'm still that same guy from 1996
Right, right.
that 27 year old starting out and going, and having that relationship. I still have relationships. I still talk to all my kids that graduated. I mean, matter of fact, I even talked to a couple of the kids that I coached in 1997 at Spring Oaks Junior High.
Wow.
They got kids. How about this? They got kids that are in junior high over here in KDISD.
Oh wow.
And they're playing sports now. And I have then I have, like I said, my kids, that my golfers that I've talked to. I mean, I talk to one every week. It may not be the same one, but I talk to one of my ex golfers once a week, if not more. And just because they talk to me. Matter of fact, I got one that just got a top five finish in Florida. She plays for Penn State, and she was in the top four. She shot a 4 under over 2 days.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, and so like I said, you build those relationships, and those relationships are good, and you're able to cultivate them and keep them going throughout the years. And some you talk to, some you don't, and some you can go years and years to go from, and you don't hear from them, and then all of a sudden they they're back in town and they call you, coach, what are you doing? How you been? Let's meet up, And
Right,
so,
right.
to go talk to them, see how they're doing, see what they're doing. They talk about their life, and they say, how they miss high school golf, and wish they could have stuck with it and kept playing, or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's just different, and sometimes it's hard to exactly put your finger on why it's different. COVID really sucked. We had to go online. That was the worst thing for young adults. It was the worst thing. I got one here in my house that it was the worst thing that could have ever happened to him. And dealing with that, just because some kids need that. They got to have that in class,
Right, right.
social aspect. They need to be in the same room with those peers, talking to them and doing things, like what we're doing right now, and having to do that as a school. I mean, for an entire year, it was, or not really. What I guess it was, an entire year. It was half a year, and those kids didn't learn anything.
Right.
Okay, they didn't learn anything, and so now we're trying to play catch up. Still, some of those kids are still playing catch up to catch, to learn what they didn't learn,
Right.
and
Right.
and now that they're in class, now they're having to take a little extra time, get some extra tutoring here, get some extra tutoring there. Um, which is, on the teachers to do. And, a lot of times they're not gonna be compensated for that. They're just going to stay after school and stay until kids come in and they get them caught up. And so, things like that, for golf, for sports, it hurt just because we weren't able to compete,
Right.
for that half a year. And then we kind of got back at it. It was a little bit limited. For me, it really didn't make a difference because we're outside. Nobody, golf has flourished. The golf courses now, they're making more money than they've ever made in their lives.
Yes.
And so, it's hard. And then, like my junior golf tour, I think last year we made more money last year than I think we did in the 2 years previous.
Wow.
Every tournament that we had, like I said, I think we ran throughout the state of Texas. I think we ran 125, 145 tournaments, and I want to say 80% of those tournaments were at full capacity.
Wow.
Yeah, full capacity. And when I say full capacity, anywhere from 80 to 110 kids playing golf at one of our tournaments. So.
Wow, that's good, man. That is good. That is really good. How I know we talk about how it was for the kids. What about for the teachers? What about for yourself having to do, through the whole pandemic? I guess.
Yeah.
Room.
Yeah.
Like, I see you and you.
It just, it kind of depends on how you felt about the pandemic, right?
Right.
I say I was in the minority. I don't know if I was or wasn't, but I do believe that COVID exists and it's bad because I've seen it and I know what it's done to either my family or other people's family. But at the same time, I'm like, if you just do your job of washing your hands and taking care of yourself, and if you're sick, stay home and don't spread, it takes care of itself in that aspect. But the whole wearing of the mask and the trying to keep kids separated and stuff like that. Well, in a public school or any private school, it doesn't matter. You're limited because your classroom is only so big.
Right.
And at our school, we've got 3,600 kids. I know when we started the 21-22 year, and we started a little bit online. That first 6 weeks, we were about half and half. I think we had a little over half. We had a little over half in school, and then we had a little over half that were out of school or still doing digital, the online learning.
Right.
But if you were doing online learning, like my class, like in the springtime or whenever we had it, I was doing half and half. I would do half my kids were at home, and then half my kids were in the classroom. So I had a Zoom going, plus I had kids in the room, and I was trying to keep up with both of them. That took a toll. And I ain't gonna lie to you, if I'd have hit my magic number of 80, I probably would have thrown in my keys and been gone already. But since I have to stay till my magic number of 80, that I couldn't go anywhere, so I just had to deal with it, move on.
Right.
But also, those kids that were sitting at home and not doing anything and they'd fall asleep on deal, I just give them a 0. If you're not gonna pay attention and do something, I'm not gonna babysit you. Right. I'm not your baby. I'm not a babysitter. Okay. I'm here to teach you something. I'm here to try to get you to interact and be able to work with people and people from different cultures, different whatever. And I think at Seven Lakes, we probably have, I don't know, 22 different nations represented.
Oh, wow.
At our school. Wow. So you when you come in, you're going to be talking to any, you don't know who you're going to talk to.
Right.
You don't know who you're going to be sitting next to. You don't know what their background is. And just like in jobs, you've had plenty of them. I've had plenty of them, but you go up, you don't know what cards you're going to be dealt.
Right.
You don't know what, who you're going to have to work with. And so, I tell them all the time, man, you have to be able to talk to anybody.
Right.
You got to be able to walk up and shake somebody's hand and look them in the eye and say, "Hey, my name is," and happy to meet you. Let's get this going. And some of they struggle with that, because they're used to putting it on the only thing they know how to do is text or Snapchat or or tweet or whatever that stuff is. I mean, this right here is out of my comfort zone already. So, I mean, this is the first time I've ever done this. So, and like even this year, I'm teaching a social media marketing, and so like doing this is fun. And the other day, I met an influencer. His name was Cam Wilder.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody, some people may know him, may not, but anyway, he came to one of our basketball games, and people were just going nuts, and I had no clue who this guy was, no clue. But in my own self, I walked right up to him, and I said, "Hey, my name is Coach Sean Ewing. I teach social media marketing. If you're going to be in town tomorrow, I need you to come talk to my class."
Right.
And he was like, "Okay." And I think maybe he was just shocked because I came up and asked him or what, but he was like, "Yeah, sure, coach, let's do this, man." And at first I didn't think he was going to show up, and then I looked out the window and there he was. I was like, "Dang, okay." But so but again, it's just teaching those kids to learn to step out of their comfort zone and do stuff, and then at the same time, make sure they understand that this social media stuff, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever, will cost them something in life.
Right.
Whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's money, but it will somehow cost them because they don't get it.
Right.
They don't get it. They don't understand that thing doesn't go away.
Right.
It just because it thinks that it's just only there for 30 seconds. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I've watched kids, get put into OAC, or out of school suspension or whatever. And lose a whole bunch of opportunities because of social media, and putting stuff out there, and then somebody clicked it and kept it and sent it to somebody, and and then they were toast.
Yeah, I mean, and you're so correct. And it is, and that's not even for the kids. I mean, some adults don't even realize that. A delete is not really a delete. Okay, it's not. It's gone, but it really ain't gone. It's what's that thing? Now it's in the cloud.
Right? Yeah, it's in the cloud, and it's floating out there, and somebody just comes up and grabs it.
Somebody just pull it out of the cloud. Man, even that. What do you think about the kids now? Because you're an educator and you're there. Their social skills.
They're horrible. They're horrible. I mean, and I'm not saying I can't really generalize that. There are some that are really good at it.
Right.
They just, and that's just their personality. But I would say a majority of them, and I would say the younger ones. So let's just go your junior high, moving up to your freshman in high school. They just don't. I mean, literally, they don't know how to act around people. They don't. They think it's that video game world, and they can say what they want or do what they want because they could say it online, and nobody knows, or they think that nobody knows, and so they don't know how to act in that setting of their peers, and they'll say something that probably ended up making somebody mad, or getting somebody upset because they don't know how to use their words to get their point across. They still use. I mean, I see it in presentations still. They'll use Urban Dictionary type stuff inside their presentations instead of full sentences and correct English grammar. And I'm like, you are not going to get a job. You are not going to pass college because you don't proofread. I mean, and this is even going as far as when they write their name. They don't even capitalize their first letter of their first name and their first letter of last name.
Oh, wow.
They just proper nouns, they don't mean nothing anymore.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know, yeah, it's nuts, man. They do not pay any intentional to detail. It's it's get it done as fast as possible so I can go back to my phone and watch some YouTube video.
Right. Right.
I mean, it literally that is what we are fighting the most as teachers. It's they don't want to they just want to get it done as fast as possible so they can go back to their electronic device and basically put their blinders back on. And
That's that's so unfortunate, for where we are going and where we are. Coming up, all we had to do was talk to each other. I came up when it was a pager.
right, yeah, yeah, uh-huh,
You know, but that thing where people interact and being able to have a conversation or talk to somebody else, man. And I think that a lot of people take that for granted. Well, I'll say a lot of younger people. The funny thing when you were saying that, the thought came to my mind. If you go to a table and there's about six people sitting around, everybody's on their phone.
right, yeah. I mean, we go on golf trips, and we go to dinner somewhere, and I look down at the table and I go, look at my assistant, and I go, they're not even talking. Every one of them like this, you know. And I'm like, I finally just have to say, look, put them away. Let's go
Right.
conversate. And here's the worst part about it. Sometimes they're texting their friend next to them.
Right.
I'm like, just talk to them.
I don't know what to say.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, it's a battle. I say certain things is a battle every day.
Yes.
It's I would say it's getting a little better here recently. As the quote unquote numbers go down.
Right.
They're not able to get away with staying home for it, and they're not getting the unexcused, the excused absence, so
Right.
they can just stay home and not do their work, and then they come back and then they just got to make it up. It's like they get a 2 or 3 day vacation just because they said they had COVID, even though they didn't. They're kind of getting away from that now, which is good. Now they're all in class, which is that sometimes is a pain in the butt, but at the same time, you want them there because if not, then they can't learn and they can't don't get the material, and then and then I'm having to work extra too because they were absent, and then I got to make up. When am I going to come in my room? And for me as a coach, I don't have any extra time. I mean, I got first period, I got morning practice, I got afternoon practice, so I'm not there in the mornings because I'm at the golf course from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and then I leave at 1:45 and go to the golf course, and then I go home. And so that 7:15 to 2:35 bell that doesn't pertain to me.
Right.
I don't really go by that, and so people trying to come in and do stuff, it's a little harder for coaches that have the practice, because now you either have to not go to practice, which I'm not going to do,
Right.
or have to really finagle stuff to get them to come in and do stuff. So it's better that they're in class, and it's easier on everybody if everybody shows up.
Right. Right.
So.
Man, so and it's great that you talked about the fact that you stay and your kids are still in contact with you. And I think that goes back to the foundation. To be able to you poured something into them that was real, and that's kind of like the basis of this is like pouring something in that's real. You gave back. You gave back. You didn't stop, and that's what you poured into your kids. You didn't just say, "Hey, you know what? Do what you want to. I'm here for a check." But you actually cared about them, and sometimes you may, and a lot of other teachers and people could be the only ones that give them that
Yes.
give them that, and that's so important, man.
Well, I mean, and you know this story. Back in 2010, when I had a young man in class that was a foster kid and that had been adopted, and his parents at the time, just weren't good people, and at least not for him and his siblings. And it got to a point where he had to leave the home and didn't want to be there anymore. And uh, I did my part to try to get him into other places, and they didn't allow that to happen. And so got to a point where he just wanted to leave. And then it got sticky situation, and then I did my part of asking, hey, can he come and stay with me? Um, and then it all worked out to where yes, they could. And now he's a grown man, got a degree, got a wife, got a baby, and and in the long run, uh, you know, was so moved by what I did and what my family did for him that he ended up taking my name, and so no, that is a anomaly. I think doesn't happen all the time, but there are so many kids out there that are like him, um, that if you can just make that little bit of difference to make sure that they make it through that day or they make it through that year and they graduate and they got to get out on their own to where they still have they have the right tools to make themselves successful, and they
Right.
don't become that statistic of the dropout that is now only thing they can do is work at McDonald's or Whataburger. Not that that's a bad thing, but you know they didn't further their education. They didn't try to make themselves better, and they just kind of fell into that rut,
Right.
um, of I'm no good. This is the best I can do, when that's not true. You
Right.
know, it's absolutely not true. You've got every one of them got the drive. They just got to be shown how to use it.
Right. Right. Right.
So
And I applaud you for that, man. I applaud you for it. I've known you. I've known you a little while, couple of days, and and it's been like that. And to be able to do that, and take that and pour into the youth, man, that is commendable. I know it's not an easy task, because you're dealing with 150 different personalities on a daily basis.
yes.
So I know
Uh-oh. Either I lost you or you lost me.
there we go.
Oh, okay, okay. All
That
right.
was some 150 different personalities.
Yes.
Listen, you ain't finna talk about me. Look,
Ooh.
you tell your kids to stop it. but I know that that's not easy, but pouring in as a whole, not only in the classroom, but then to your athletes. Man, you it's like you like this. Look, and then I'm gonna say, then you got to go home and do like this too. So you're all around kind of fella.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to, yeah. I wear many hats. So yeah, I wear many hats.
Man, but that is so great, man. I commend you for it. I commend you for all the years that you put into it. And like I said, knowing that nobody just does it for that long just because it means you have a passion for it, and it shows. It shows. In your kids. It shows. In the things that you have accomplished, the things that your kids have accomplished. You pouring into them. It shows that it comes from the heart, and that's what it's all about. I know that. I don't know. I've never been a teacher, but I know that assume that there are some that are there, just there, just they go through thinking it's gonna be one thing. You go through thinking like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I can do this. I can, and then you get in there and you lose your mind.
Right.
And you
And
know,
and we do have, I mean, we do have teachers now that only make it 2 or 3 years, and they're like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do it. And they go back to whatever, what I mean, say they may have been in education, but their degree was in math or something like that, so
right,
they go try to be a some financial person somewhere, and try to get into that aspect, uh, and because they just realize that, oh my gosh, this is, because sometimes it's a lot, and obviously every business has the the top shelf people. Then you got the middle. You got your all the way down. And I've been asked so many times, how come I never became an administrator? And I always I thought about it, but I never wanted to give up coaching. That was my biggest thing, because that was my passion.
Right.
It's kind of why that's why I got into this gig in the first place, was because I loved coaching and watching the faces of the athletes, when they success, and and confronting them when they had the bad things too. But I was asked, hey, why don't you become an administrator? And I really thought about it, like, man, do I want to do that? That wouldn't be bad, especially if I could get it toward the end, and for retirement purposes, makes my retirement even better, because their salary's a little better than what I'm making. But at the same time, I don't think I could, especially now. If I was an administrator now, I probably wouldn't last. And I tell my administrators this all the time. I'm like, if I was in your position and somebody told me to do what they've asked you to do,
Right.
I would have told them to stick it, because I'm like, look, people, you ain't been in a classroom in how long? How many years?
Right.
And you're trying to tell I got to tell my teachers to do something that isn't going to work, and just because and I'm like, I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it 1 year. I just wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it. I mean, I have a hard enough time biting my tongue now, and I can just imagine in 2 years, when my last year, I gotta really gonna have to just towards the end, I'm gonna have to just keep it closed and not say the things I want to say. Especially if there's a kid or a teacher that has really just irritated me all year long, and then come about May 12th, 15th, when I know that I'm about 2 weeks done, and what are they going to do? Fire me? And I go off and tell them exactly how I feel about them.
I've had this for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. I've been holding on to this, and you just happen to get to be the one that gets it. So yeah, administrators have they get a bad rap sometimes, but they also have a hard job. The school administrators, the ones that are at the ESC, sometimes, again, I would probably have the same conversation with them too, saying, look, man, until you come and sit in my classroom, or you go sit in that elementary classroom, or you go sit in that junior high classroom, don't tell those teachers what to do until you go and actually see what they're dealing with right now, not what they were dealing with 10 years ago, because that ain't the same.
Right.
Even 20 years ago, I can say that since I'm on my 26th year.
Right.
I mean, it's so different. And so, in things I've had to progress. I mean, I've had to change the way I do things, because it's hard to keep them engaged. So I have to come up with new ways to come in and do things with my classes. And so I've had to evolve as a person, as a teacher, because you can't stay in that. You can't stay if you stay in the same rut. You're gonna burn out, and two, you're probably gonna get run out.
Right.
So if you're not trying to become better, each year, then that's the kicker. So.
Man. Well, look, after 20 some years, I think you're doing pretty darn good. I think you done smooth that stone out.
Yeah, I'm definitely, yeah. I've got a smooth where there's a slide, and I'm at the top right now, and I'm about to start letting myself go.
It don't hurt as much as it used to.
It does.
Oh man. Look, man. I'm gonna let you before we get out of here. I want you to just, I'm gonna give you your opportunity last couple of minutes. Just shoot out some thoughts, whatever your thoughts may be, whatever you wanna shoot out there to the world. Whatever it may be, man. Take your spotlight, sir.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna just go to the things that I tell at the end of we have an end of year banquet every year, and I talk to my seniors, and I talk to my returners, and it goes something kind of like this. And I tell my seniors, I say, you grind out the rest of your life like you grinded out the last 4 years of high school, golf with me, and when the going gets tough, you can keep your head up. You keep your chin up. You don't let nobody know that where you're at. You can be 4 under par. You can be 12 over par. Don't let nobody know. Okay. Don't let nobody know. Don't let nobody get the best of you. Okay. You go and do your best, and that's all you can ask for. Make sure that you tee it up. Okay. Every chance you get, and you always give it your best. And if you give it your best, that's all anybody can ask for. And sometimes your best is not good enough, which is fine, absolutely fine, because you'll get another chance at it again later. And so don't give up. Kind of that Jimmy Valvano things. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. So.
Man. Hey, well, my brother, I greatly appreciate it, man. I appreciate you taking out the time. Again, congratulations on everything that you're doing with the kids. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. Congratulations on your golf team. And look, I'm gonna come.
I don't know what this is, but I think you're trying to play baseball.
I know. Look, I know it's something.
Yeah. You got the grip right there. You got to get it down here. Yeah.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Look, I'm gonna be out there on the golf course, and I promise ain't nobody gonna be around me.
We'll meet at Top Golf.
Well, look, Coach Ewing, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming and sharing on the show. And it's been great. It's been great. I told people, man, people got something to share. And I appreciate everything you came. I appreciate the dish, man. I feel pretty full right now. That was good. Look here. To everybody out there watching, as I always say, man, I love y'all all unconditionally. Y'all have a good one now. You hear? Later!